the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause, we doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We switching it up, baby. We doing something a little different. We coming to you from the Lou Crew Studios, baby. Lou Crew Studios. Boy. I am Derek, the thought engineer, sitting here live and in the flesh with my man, comedian John Yoga. How you feeling tonight, man?
I am happy to be here.
You happy to be here?
I'm happy to be here. Because this is an adventure, man. But hey, we trying new things. We get ready for the 2023. And you got, just bear with us, guys. Just bear with us. We trying new stuff, man.
Trying to bring y'all the different flavors. Yes. Listen, we trying to go places.
You know what?
We trying to go places.
Would you tell them all that?
We trying to go places. So y'all just hang on for the ride because we're going to take you somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to take you somewhere. We're going to get there eventually. So well, we ain't going to prolong the time. We're going to go and get into this. Let me just remind everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about the real deal as it pertains to relationships, all types of relationships, romantic, family, business life, whatever. It's all about relationships, all about how we dealing with people. Now, let me let everybody know this is not just for men. We want everybody to participate in the conversation, men, women, boys, and girls. Everybody's welcome. How you do this, you go into the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see this, but this is how you talk to us. By all means, we want to hear from you, right? So holler at your boys, talk to us, let us know how you feel. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in right now. We appreciate all the love. We know y'all gonna have something to say tonight.
Yeah, we know that. We don't know nothing else. They gonna have something to say.
They're gonna have something to say. Yeah. Well, at this time, we're gonna get into our segment we call Man Talk About It.
So on the segment, Man Talk About It today, y'all know Thanksgiving is vastly approaching. Now, Thanksgiving is my most favorite holidays, and you might be thinking because of my sizable physique that it's because of the food, but that's not necessarily so. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because it's a time because we always host, and we have, we have a house full of people that come over for Thanksgiving. And the crazy thing about it is we never really know how many people are coming because, people tell you they come and they don't come, and they don't come and they come, they don't tell you. But that ain't what irritates me. People understand who cooks and who don't cook. People understand this. Don't ask me if you need to bring something because I don't need you bringing nothing. I just need you to bring an appetite and leave your foil in the car. What is it about aluminum foil at Thanksgiving? First of all, we got all this food around, and all people can think about is what they're going to take home. Derek, nothing irritates me more than people getting there and they're talking about, make me a a sweet plate. What is a sweet plate? What is a sweet plate? What is? Can somebody please help me with? As soon as I get here, I can't eat but a piece of cake and a little peach cobbler, but I have to have a sweet plate before I leave. Derek, can you help me with what exactly is a sweet plate?
Something they don't need. Point blank, period. Yeah, I know people. Listen, people do the most on Thanksgiving. They do the most. But let me just tell you, if you hadn't cooked the past 4, 5, 6, 7 Thanksgivings, we don't need you.
Just bring your appetite.
Bring your appetite. Thanksgiving is not amateur hour.
No.
Somebody would have to test these dishes out before you come to Thanksgiving. Listen, when it's Thanksgiving, it's showtime.
Yes.
Right. This is for the big leagues. This is for Mud Deal and them who been in the kitchen a lifetime.
Listen, I heard this and it's true. If you don't got that meat hanging from under your arm, you can't cook me nothing. I need to see meat swinging from here. If you ain't got meat swinging from here, don't you go in that kitchen. As a matter of fact, we're not going to let you in that kitchen. We're going to arm test you. If you don't put your arm up and hold it like that, and I want to see that booger shake right there.
It ain't shaking enough. You got to get out of here.
You got to get out of here. You get out of the kitchen. You ain't got no weight in the game. You do not have enough weight in the game to be doing it.
I agree with Afia. She said it's not some people ministry. It's not. You need to be in the cup ministry, the plate ministry, maybe even the fork ministry.
The greeting ministry. You could be greeting people at the door. We need somebody greeting people as they come in.
The blanket ministry, because you know everybody going to sleep after they finish eating. You the blanket ministry.
Listen, we normally have karaoke and music afterwards. You could be over the karaoke ministry. You could be over anything besides. Do not come in that kitchen. And one more thing before we go. I don't need nobody hanging around the kitchen. When you get your plate, please, and thank you, leave the kitchen area, please. Please leave the kitchen area. I don't need to keep looking in the kitchen and seeing you in the kitchen every time I look in there. Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
And one more thing before we go. If we say dinner starting at 1, can we start at 1?
Why we got to get there at 4 and 5? Why I'm on the couch sleeping, you walking in the door to me, hey, ain't no hey. Dinner started 2 hours ago because we like to prayer. We like to do a prayer. Right. And we like to kind of go around and say what we thankful for. And this year is really thankful for me because I had a scare a couple of weeks ago and everybody thought I was trying to mess Thanksgiving up.
Hey man,
you're gonna mess the food all up with the no salt and sugar. Really?
Food just bland. Yeah, man. We try to keep you around here.
That ain't how we get down, brother. Take me out because that ain't how we get down. That ain't how we get down. Take me up out of here, then.
You're gonna have a special plate.
Yes. The one that gets
salt free.
You know what I'm saying? No, we're not even doing that, brother. We're not doing that. But again, Thanksgiving is coming. Please, y'all, govern yourself accordingly, and y'all act like y'all got some sense. Please, y'all. Please, y'all still got Christmas. Please, for Thanksgiving, y'all act like y'all got some sense. And that's my
That's a man talk about it.
That's a man talk about it.
Well, I know traditionally, we know holidays. That's when it's time to see who's in and who's out with the relationships.
There you go.
You get invited to Thanksgiving dinner, you somebody important.
You might be somebody. You might be somebody.
You might be somebody. Or Christmas or Thanksgiving holidays. If you get invited to the house, you supposed to be somebody important.
You might be tap worthy. You might be getting a tap in later that evening if you make it to Thanksgiving dinner.
You met the mom and them and aunt and them and all that stuff. You're supposed to be real important. But how do you know? How do you know if that person is the person you really need to be with? How do you know that? Listen, for guys, it's hard. It's hard, man. I tell people all the time, I would not want to be dating in these times. I would not want to fool with you. Y'all got a whole lot going on.
It's difficult in them streets, dude. It's difficult in them streets out there, man.
It's hard in these streets.
Yes, it is.
But if you're trying to find somebody to be with, how do you find somebody to be with? How do you know that they are right? How do you know they're right? So we talking about tonight, bro. She ain't wifey material.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just because she thinks she is don't mean she is. You know what's kind of funny about that before we get into it? I was thinking about this today. I was rather disturbed by it actually.
Okay.
With some comments. I was kind of in a fighting mood. I'm better now.
You better, okay.
But what kind of bothered me about it is women can always tell us that we're not worthy to be dads or that we're not ready to be dads, we hoes or whatever. But we don't never call women and say, y'all not wife material. We never tell a woman she's not wife material. We never say that.
How would it be received if we said it?
How would it be received? You ain't never been in a fight.
I don't think they would even listen. I don't think they would listen when he talked about a woman being wife material.
Never been in a fight.
And then too, what is that? What does it mean to be wife material? What do women think it means to be wife material? I would love to hear from some women. What does it mean? What do you think?
Women think that if they cooking and cleaning and they giving you some sex, that they should be runner up of the year to be wifey.
Oh wow. All right.
They think that automatically qualifies them. You should consider them as being a wife.
Cooking, cleaning, and sex makes you a wife.
They don't say nothing about knowing when to be quiet. They don't say nothing about knowing how to act like a lady when you need to.
Okay.
They don't say nothing about that. They don't say nothing about having the support of that man. And because most of the time, I'm just gonna get into it. I'm tired.
Come on with it.
Thanksgiving coming, I'm tired.
Come on with it.
Most of the time, the reason why women do that with men because they're trying to keep it. I think the misconception is people say, well, no, we're not doing. I'm doing that because that's what a woman's supposed to do. No. You doing that because you're trying to get him to reciprocate the love that you have for him.
Oh, wow.
Most of the time when guys young like that, we don't love like y'all love then. So y'all have to do something or put out. Listen, you got to put out because somebody else going to put out if you don't to keep him around.
You know, because I had this conversation. Me and my wife was having this conversation. Situation came up and she just got to thinking about it. And it was like, she said women are taught to be wives. And so you end up getting with a guy and you giving him wife benefits and he's either not ready or he's not worthy. That was, you said, he's not ready or he's not worthy.
What is wife benefits exactly?
Okay, so what like you said, the cooking, the cleaning,
the booty. Can we just cut the chase? It's the booty. And this the thing. Because you have slept with him, you want something in return from him. You don't want to feel like you wasted your time giving what you should have kept for your husband to him. So now you want to try to qualify him as being husband material when you know he not and you know you not. Wow.
Peter says some men like women to compete for them, knowing he doesn't want her.
Who said that? Because I can't see the comments.
Afil said that.
Afil is on something. You better stop that drinking before it's ain't even 7 o'clock and you already drunk. You cut that out. Don't no man want nobody competing for him. Philly, what y'all do is y'all trying to make that man love you like you love him. And a lot of times you got to do things like that to get that back. Listen.
You think it's out of desperation?
Dude, they don't make songs about it, D, for nothing, D. Everybody want to be loved the way they want to be loved. I want you to reciprocate the love that I have for you, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get it back.
So why do we spend so much time? Ophelia said, "No, she's not. No, she's not. She hadn't been drinking. She's not.
She looking at a drink, dude. She ain't drinking. She looking at one.
But why do people spend so much time trying to get that person to love them why they try to get there? Why would they go with somebody who's more apt to give it?
No, I want what I can't have.
Oh,
I want what I can't have. I want what I can't have because I should get this. And then it's the thing. Most of the time we come from single family homes. How can a single mom explain to a woman how to be a wife when she's not a wife? How can a single mom explain to her son how to be a husband? And we get out here in these streets and we got it all backwards. We got it all backwards. And then we trying to figure out how we got here.
You know what? You bring up a good point, because when you look at it, especially it's talking about single mothers raising sons. When you look at it, he recognizes a mother. but he doesn't really recognize a wife. If he's never been around in an environment where he's observed it, he doesn't. And see, when women get a guy and he wants somebody to pick up after him, to clean up after him, to do all of this, well, that's what his mama did for him. So he looking for a mama. But why is he looking for a mama? That's all he knows. If he never saw her be a wife, how does he know or recognize that?
Kids don't emulate what they see. Kids don't emulate what you say to them. They emulate what they see.
Right.
And more times than not, we coming from single family households. For example, I thought about this today. When me and my wife, I have a daughter. I think don't get mad at me, daughter. I think my daughter is 28, 29, or 30. One or two. I haven't did the math, so we're not gonna go there. But she's somewhere around there. Okay. Every time I ask her, it changed. So, my goodness. But this the thing. I'm trying to remember whether or not we taught her how to be a wife.
Oh, wow.
Now we talk. She knows she can go to her mom on how to cook. Mm-hmm. She knows she can go to her mom for almost anything. But we've had some jokers to come to the house that we had to have. So it's a story. So my daughter had met this guy. He was a pretty boy. He had look curly hair and he had a Mustang outside. So she met him on the internet. So he came over to the house and he went to one of the high schools around her. So she came. He came to the house to get her. And I didn't like him. Because he was a pretty boy, and I knew he only wanted one thing from him. And once he got it, he wasn't gonna do it no good. So he comes to the house, and this joker had every time I asked him a question, he had all the right answers, and I couldn't stand it. So I said, I know how to get him. I said, I'll tell you what, sweetheart, before y'all leave, we need to pray. And boy, my wife looked at me like, Lord have mercy, what is this rascal gonna do? So I said, everybody gather hands around. So the whole family were looking at me like, Daddy crazy, Daddy crazy. I want you to know Daddy crazy. So we all gather hands and he looking kind of sideways. And I said, Lord, listen. I said, Lord, let this young man do what he tell me he gonna do and let his intentions be pure. Because I don't want to go back to jail, Lord. But I'll go, Lord. I'll go. If this young man playing with me and my daughter, Lord, I will go back to jail. In Jesus' name, amen. And listen, so what he did, he took her to he took her to get something to eat, and he brought her right back home. And she never heard from him again.
Right.
She never heard from him again. Well, now if your intention, if you gonna do what you say you're gonna do,
yeah.
Why you don't be scared of me?
Yeah.
I'm just here for if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So I'm saying all this to say, we taught my daughter how to do and be a lot of things, but I'm not sure we taught her how to be a wife. Now she has a guy that she's serious about,
right? And
I made sure I asked him, "Hey, are you loud? Are you obnoxious? Are you this?" Because that's my daughter. She's like her daddy. So, and I want to know, are you the calm one? He said, yeah, that's me, because she do all that, rah, that. That's me. I said, yeah, because she gonna need somebody that's like that. Dude, and that's the most I could do, because we don't really train our kids how to be wives. I'm just trying to figure out where that's coming from.
So Cheryl says, Lucy says, wifey material is taking care of his needs, not just sexually, but also mentally and emotionally. When he's taken care of, she'll be taken care of. What do you say about that one?
You know, I think she's on to something about that.
I think you're careful to answer, because you know Lucy can come up here and bust you upside the head.
She gonna say something because I can't say nothing back. How she gonna say something? She know I can't say nothing back. How she gonna say something?
You in comedian John Yogi mode.
Oh,
you gotta go in, man. Go.
And when I finish, I'll go downstairs. Oh no, Mr. Comedian.
Dr. Selena says, agreed, Cheryl. But not you, because you said something, you brought up a good point. Are people that are dating now, we talk about being wifey material, husband material. How can you be it if you haven't seen it?
Okay, you got listen. One of the things I have the biggest problem with is a lot of times when we get married and we young, our wives and everybody expect us to have all the answers, and we don't know. We haven't seen a good marriage.
Yeah.
We couldn't pick it out in the lineup if they had 9 of them in front of us, and they expect us to get it. And man, most of the time we learn it. You have to have the ability to want to, and you got to put the effort in to be a great husband as well as a great wife, man.
You know, one thing I noticed for guys, especially for guys who tend to get it right, that's this thing where you correct yourself. That thing a lot of times comes from pain. It comes from the pain of seeing your mother struggle, and you say, you know what, I don't want to put nobody through that. But but there's a correction that comes from being instructed on how to do things right, and that typically comes from a man. That man, because listen, mama will coddle you. You got some mothers out there that try to drive boys and try to force them to be, but it's a difference when a man is holding a young man accountable to doing certain things. It's something you get from being around men that you need to absorb in order to be that husband material. Dr. Selena says, we, men and women, are ready to be marriage material at different times, seasons in our lives. The seasons often don't align, which leaves one heartbroken. She say we missing each other.
Well, I kind of agree with that. Because I think it'd be wrong. I think it'd be asinine to say that's not true to a certain extent, because people are ready at different times. Women genuinely are ready sooner than guys are, most of the time. But now I often say this, man, but it's just funny though. As much as I can say that, it's always somebody out there hoeing when we need it.
So men couldn't behave that way unless there was opportunity out there
and it's
to behave
it's always
that way.
Always.
Okay.
I ain't making that up.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, y'all, I'm gonna call y'all booty crews. You know you out there.
Doc Selena agrees. She said facts, John. She says facts.
Just saying it, which makes it more difficult for the woman that's trying to be wifey. Right. But now I just want this for every person that we say that's trying to be wifey. How do they know how to be wifey? How do they know what it takes to be a wifey? Because it was said that they're taught to be wifey early. I want to know how. Who taught them and how? Yeah. Let
me see. Ken says, I think men have already painted a picture in their head of what they're looking for. They could meet someone with some extra benefits that can make the decision easier.
Well, we know what we want to wed, and we know we want to bed.
Oh yeah,
you know, because I know when you walk through there and I see hips that sink ships. I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get you into bed as quick, fast, and a hurry. But now, if you carry yourself like a lady, because this is the thing, you can have hips and all that other stuff, but man, it's just the way we carry ourselves. I'm telling you, men know what they want. They want to be wives, and they know what they want to be. We know immediately.
You're right. But what extends the player era that a man goes through? What extends what people call the whole phase of a guy? What extends it?
Well, when we find a woman that's serious about us and we're serious about her, we'll put down our hope. We'll take off our whole pants. But we got to be made to take off our whole pants. We do what we are allowed to do. Men do what we are allowed to do. If that woman does not require us to stop being a hoe, why should we?
Now, Lucy she says there is so much that goes into being a wife. I believe it depends on what the husband is looking for. Now, I want to ask you, Lucy. You said there's so much that goes into being a wife. Now, I know you're a wife. How much of that did you know before you went in? Woo! And how much did you realize after you actually got in as to what it actually takes?
Now, if you're going to ask the question, you ask the question then. You ask the question then.
Listen.
Because we don't know. Because we do not know it. We don't know when we think we know.
My wife, when I first met her, I would hang around her father.
I thought you were going to talk about her not cooking. No, man. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Doggone it.
But I hung around her father a lot. And it was because I needed to know. I needed to know what it was to be a husband. And really, there was some other manhood stuff that I need to pick up on too. Because I mean, I had coaches, and that's really about the extent of it. I have uncles and all this type of stuff. So absorbing that, especially knowing if I'm going to be with her, if I'm going to be a husband, I need to observe some husbands. Now, good thing about it, I had just been plugged into a church where the men in the church were serious. They were serious guys. You know, most of them had long marriages. They were, you know, dedicated and the whole nine. So it was a good environment. But I don't think that environment exists enough for men to really be husband material. And let me say this, for the guy who's young and the young lady who's trying to get him to be a husband, the problem is somebody else is recognizing him looking like a husband with you. Now, you would think a woman would be like, I need to find me one of those. Mm. No, they don't say, I want you to find me one of those. They come for yours.
Yeah, you heard what he had said. He didn't say one of them. He said yours. Now, which brings back to the point that I was making earlier. We always can find somebody. Anytime we want to hoe, we always can find somebody. Somebody is always available.
He said available.
Somebody's always available. Somebody is always available. Y'all don't be stealing my word. Don't be stealing that. Because I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Don't y'all do it. Stop being available.
No, listen. You're right. Men can't do this by themselves. They can't do this by themselves. There has to be opportunity.
Yes,
for a man to continue doing that. Now, granted, yes, men should be more display more self-control.
Yes,
you should. But like you said, when you 18, 19 years old,
20, when you 20,
yeah.
And so I think one of the things that was said today, somebody said, earlier, they said, but when we ready to settle down to be married, men not ready yet because we mature faster and we've been taught at an earlier age how to be wise. I'm like, man, but is that fair? Because what has a guy shown you at 20 and 21 that make you think he gonna be the love of your life and y'all gonna stay married? What has somebody shown you guys besides taking you out and spend money on you? What has somebody shown you?
Right. Hold your hand in public. That's about it. Lucy says, I didn't know a lot. Okay, she's answering my question. She said, I didn't know a lot. I had to surround myself with wives who had the relationship that I wanted with my husband. Right. You got to be around it. And if you come up in a single parent home where you don't see it, oh, you in trouble. Afia says, I'm closing my laptop. Available. She's talking about your word. Ken says, I think the courting process is where we need to ask those tough questions to each other. Once you get them answered and you know she's the one, then you treat her with flowers because she answered right. Don't splash out money on a queen that's messed up and mentally, even if she's beautiful. He said be artful. He said, so fellas, put up your wallets. Don't use your wallet to try to get her. You need to check her out first.
Okay. So then is he gonna tell the women what are you gonna tell the women? Don't
that's a great point.
Don't pull out your don't do I have to say it?
Don't be led to the bed. Don't be led to the bed.
I'm just saying, man, you I think you have a better chance of keeping a guy around if you don't once you put yourself out there, now you feel like you got to put up with whatever he's doing and bring it because I done gave the booty up.
Is it really about the guy? Or is it about I beat them? Is it really about the guy? Is it about I beat them? I've seen when women get in competition with each other, it gets wild.
Well, you know it's wild when as soon as you get with them, they change your answer machine on your phone. Like, whoa, I'm dating myself. But as soon as we get married, you go right in like, whoa, what you doing? You won. Okay, you won. And so there has to be some type of competition. You're absolutely right, but there has to be something.
Yeah. Listen, I remember back in the day when I was in the club in the whole nine, they used to have, you remember the Pop the Coochie contest?
I remember them. And I know what you're going to say. I heard this story before.
Right.
Yes.
It started off as a dance contest.
Somebody got to win.
But somebody got to win.
Somebody got to go beyond the call of duty.
And in order to win,
you got to show that booty. You got to do something. You got to think to yourself, you know what? This ain't really working out like I had planned it. What can I show them that nobody else will be willing to show in order to win this contest, Derek? And Derek, what is that, Derek? Tell me what that is, Derek.
Hey, women are competitive.
I'm just saying. Hey,
women are competitive
about everything.
So as much as it's supposed to be about the guy, at some level, it's not really about the guy. It's about I'm beating everybody else out.
But I wanna deal with this part though, D. I want to deal with this. That women are ready to be married faster than guys. I'm for the life of me. They're coming from the same single family homes we coming from. How are you ready and you're not seeing it?
No.
Please explain it. Women out there, explain to me how y'all ready when y'all come from the same broken down homes that we come from.
And who's setting the standards?
Women.
But here's the thing. Everybody talks about the Proverbs 31 woman and all
that they can't recognize if they saw.
But that was King Lemuel. That was his mother telling him what a good woman was. So wouldn't you think a man would tell a girl what a good man is?
I just think it's hard for a single mom that's not married to tell a girl how to be a wife. Is she gonna tell him everything that she didn't do?
That would mean admitting that I was wrong.
But you're not going to. But women not going to. First of all, they're not going to admit that. Now, if you're not going to tell her, by you cooking and cleaning, that's not getting her ready to be a wife.
Right.
And I think that's the misconception of I'm doing everything I can for him. He should wife me. And it's so much more than that. And I think women are doing themselves a grave disadvantage by thinking that's what it is. That's what it is to it. Because it's not.
Because cooking and cleaning does not equal peace.
Boy, I almost slid out of my seat on the floor. I had to literally hold myself up because I almost slid.
It does not equal peace.
They don't understand that. But see, mama being with daddy can only tell you that.
Right. Because you have to see a woman and a man to where they know how to temper themselves according to each other.
Yes.
You come from a single parent home. Mama is the dominant voice in there.
All the time.
Nobody's competing with her. So if you're a woman that came up in that, you used to women being just
dominant,
just being dominant,
you know,
and just saying what they want.
Dude, it's funny because I got a couple of groups of friends that I'm with. In my other group of friends, the women are more dominant. And you can see it when you come to the door. And I got a problem with that. I really do.
Yeah.
And so I'm always having issues with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to seeing dominant women at this. What?
The women are more dominant and the men are more passive. The men are more passive.
Yeah.
Because you're used to not succumbing to giving in to that dominant voice of that woman, because your mom was the dominant voice in the house.
Yeah. Well, yes. You know what, man? My mom did a good job of riding us into the ground. We couldn't wait to get out of there. You hear me? We couldn't wait because we knew we knew this ain't how it was supposed to be. We knew the dynamic between men and women wasn't supposed to be like this. We saw them fussing and fighting. We saw when they were married. You never see people that fuss and fight so much, you be like, y'all need to get divorced.
I hear people say that. We wasn't no good together. We was bad for the kids.
They was kids.
Y'all bad for the kids because y'all won't act right.
They was kids.
They was kids. Okay.
It was kids, and nobody wants to submit to the other one because both. You know, I can't give you no slack because you won't give me none. But we both trying to learn how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And you don't get that. You don't get that in young marriages, man. That's why for the people that do stay together, it's amazing. I think your wife said because her parents were together, but how many people can say my parents came up and they were together? And I saw my mom and dad. Right. Because the dynamic that me and my wife have, man, is extraordinary. But we've been at this thing for 30 plus years.
Yeah, and how many bumps and bruises?
I ain't got no more fight in me. I don't have no more fight in me, so it has to be dynamic. I'm done, son.
So you just been whooped.
I'm done.
Monique says, so where should women look for guidance on preparing for marriage?
I think they need to talk to their fathers.
Yeah.
Can anybody listen? Yeah. As much as your mom can tell you how to be a wife, bless her heart, but I think it needs to come from a dad.
Or some respectable man that you, because let's be honest, because if he ain't that dude, you're gonna get a whole bunch of foolishness.
Yeah.
Lucy says, I think there are some single women who have something to share.
They got nothing to say.
One who's had the experience could tell or teach young women their mess ups so that
they don't do
women
that.
Won't fall into the same trap.
But they don't do that.
For example, let me get Dr. Selena's comment real quick. She said, I disagree. Losses oftentimes equate to lessons. I can teach you to succeed from a lesson I learned from a loss. A single mother can absolutely prepare you to be a wife under the guise that all marriages are different and you have to create y'all's marriage. Right. But she's teaching you an ideal that she doesn't relate to. Okay. So she's coming from a point of knowledge, but not understanding. And that's two different things. Now, let me say this real quick before we get into this. This is how I know women do not listen to each other when they talk about their failures. Weddings. Every woman sings the same song afterwards.
After they've been married.
Right.
And they say,
oh, I should have spent all that money on that wedding. Oh my goodness, child. When you get married, don't you spend all that money, then what women go do? Spend money on the wedding, and then they sing, oh child, I shouldn't done all.
It took me 10 years to pay that wedding.
Y'all do not listen to each other. Y'all don't learn from y'all mistakes. Y'all don't learn from other women's mistakes. You want what you want, and you feel like it's gonna be different for you.
You said, hey man, you saying that. You're absolutely right. And let me say this. When the last time you've been at a church and listen, I am 50 something. I can't remember how old I am. But I know this. I've been at a lot of church, and I have never heard a woman stand up and talk about her failures in a marriage to other women.
Oh.
Never. Listen to me now. Never. Because they don't do that.
Yeah. I ain't heard it either. Maybe it happened in one of them all women group meetings or something.
They don't do that. No, because a lot of times we sitting by women that need to hear that.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being in a young marriage where you having hell with your wife and won't nobody stand up and give you no hand. Won't nobody stand up and tell you how to get through that.
Oh, but we got plenty to say to the men. We got plenty to say. Dr. Selena says they do it in women's meetings.
See, I knew somebody was going to tell that. I knew somebody was going to say that.
Y'all still come out of there raising all that foolishness. So somebody ain't listening. We need to have women's meetings. Not once a quarter. We need to have them every week.
Wait a minute, D. But the men get corrected in front of everybody. We don't get to the men's meeting before they tell. I'm just saying.
From the pulpit, we get corrected.
I'm just saying, D. I'm just saying.
We get all the correction. Monique says it has happened normally in one of the women's meetings. She said, yes, we do. Well, where the fruit? I need some fruit. Because this is how you know. This is how you know.
Yes.
This is how you know. When a woman can go back to her husband and say, baby, yeah, I've been doing too much.
I blew. Whoa.
I've been doing the food.
You said, brother, when the last time a woman, the words came out of her mouth, I have been doing too much.
Hold on.
Ain't saying that.
And it wasn't followed by, but you.
Boy, y'all should see these looks we get in this studio.
Oh my goodness. But you know it's true. You know it's true. And let me say this with the whole women mature faster than men. That's a false. That's false. The whole thing about maturing, women settle down mentally before men do, but men need that knuckleheadedness so they can push to make a life. Because it takes a certain type of mentality. It takes a knucklehead sometimes to forego risk and push. And then once they get to a point to where they kind of gotten things the way they need to be, then they'll settle into it. But this whole thing about women mature faster than guys, no, it doesn't. They don't. Let me say that. Monique says, I need the men to stop gravitating to that low hanging fruit.
What? Is this a more?
Hold on, she ain't done. She said, but honestly, women will listen. Okay. It depends on them to take the advice and move forward. It's typically after you then been whooped.
I want to listen to me
by relationships.
You know what get me, D? This
what gets from Sunday.
This what gets me, D. People will call me to no end, D. Ask me my advice about situation. I will tell them, D. And lo and behold, them Negroes go back and do the same stuff that I was telling them. I said, well, if you keep doing that, this is what's gonna happen.
Right. When
it happens to them, and the whole thing normally gets way worse than what I ever could imagine it was gonna get. Dude, I don't know whether to be mad at them or just frustrated. Because I'm like, I'm trying to help you for the life of me. Women have been taught, and I think this is the problem. They have been taught I can have what I want. Damn how he acting and how he doing. He really want me. He just don't know it. I need to help him get along. Let me bring him back in here a little more and let me rub on him a little more, because I know he just needs some coasting, because he really love me like I love him. He just don't know it yet.
And I've seen some women make some excuses for some sorry jokers. They continuously endure the foolishness. And then now you this wounded victim, and it's like,
and you speak from that, and you talk from that.
But you made the choice. Made the choice.
But I'm telling the story. It's got to be somebody else's fault, because I'm telling the story. And because I'm telling the story, I'm either the hero or the victim.
We're getting some amens. Dr. Selena said facts. Fia said that's true. Listen, we just trying to help somebody. We just try. Listen, especially for women, if you got a man in your life, an older man who has good sense, let me just say that, who has good sense, listen to him. Ask him questions about men, how men function, how they think, what they like, and the whole nine. Ask him those questions. If you, like I said, he's a good man, he's got sense. Let him be a resource and ask him. Stop going to women who've had 4 and 5 failed relationships trying to get advice about how, treating a good man or even recognizing one. And we gotta be honest about the whole thing. We gotta be honest about it. It's necessary. It's necessary. And I think because we don't have enough examples out there, I think this is why the dating pool has pee in it.
Boy, that was funny to me when I had heard that.
Hey, man. Hey, because somebody peed in it if it got pee in it. Who peed in it?
Well, it just wasn't the men that peed in it.
Ooh.
It just because that women pee strong. Women pee smell like vinegar. You be like, girl, have you drank any water? When last time you drank some water, girl?
Oh my goodness.
That women pee strong, bro. Ain't nothing like that morning women pee, brother. Had that steam on it, brother. You be like, girl, you bringing down the paint in here. I'm just saying.
Monique, somebody keeps peeing. Somebody got some chlorine somewhere. Where's the chlorine? We try to put some little chlorine in there. And it is really, because it's a lot of people are finding themselves in husband and wifey positions, and they never had husband and wifey training. Yes. It only takes you standing before a pastor saying I do and signing your name on a document to make you a husband or a wife on paper.
me and Cheryl never argued before we got married. And as soon as the man said, I do, yes, I do, yes, sure, I sure do. It was let's get ready to rumble. I mean, we fought for the next 5 years. It wasn't nothing but a fight. It was nothing but a fight for the next fight. I don't know how we had my daughter, because all we did was fight. We literally all we did was fight.
Yeah, I made up.
We had to make up. That's how my daughter came.
Yeah, you made up.
Because we had no understanding or no revelation what marriage was actually like, or what we were supposed to be and do in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Listen, Afia says, what is it about that? Why do you think that is? And I think we just hit it. The epidemic of single parent homes has really caused more issues than people really realize.
Oh man. When we had Dr. Rod on, he just touched on the importance of dads being in the house.
Oh.
He just and you know what?
Oh.
I grew up without a dad in the house, and me and my brother still to this day talk about some of the effects of it, but I had no idea it was to the extent that he talked about.
Oh man.
I had no idea.
Listen, one of the single greatest tragedies is men being absent from the family. It's one of the single greatest tragedies. And listen, I know we like to champion women on how great of a job they've done with the family, but it's still not the ideal.
Yeah.
It's not the ideal. I remember I told this story before. We had my father-in-law's church. Me and my wife, we go there. It's Mother's Day. So it's Mother's Day. You know, all the focus is on mothers.
They close down the restaurants. They close down everything.
And what are we going to tell mothers? Y'all doing a great job. And all you say, you're doing a great job. All this kind of stuff. And he made the statement. He said, my son-in-law was raised by a single mother. Look at him. He turned out fine.
And you just fainted when he said that. You just wanted to lay in the floor.
Stand up so bad and say, nope.
Don't do that.
I would not wish this on nobody.
Listen.
I would not wish the way I was raised, the way I came up. Yes, for whatever purpose, God did what he did, but it was not the ideal. I would not wish that on anybody.
Single family home, my brother. It was me and my two brothers and my mom. My mom was actually my mom was, let me see, 15. I'm 15. I was 15 when she was 15 when she had me, so she's 15 years older than me. So we kind of grew up together.
Oh wow.
And man, there's nothing like being 6 and your mama 21. And y'all don't really have a place to stay. And so what you're doing, you're going to different families that you can stay with, that families that got kids already.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember being in the living room one day watching TV when they got home, and they looked at us like, what the hell y'all doing up in here in our house? Oh,
I know the feeling.
It's just
I know the feeling.
I won't wish that on nobody. And I'm trying to figure out from there, how do you know how to be a husband from there? How do you know how to be luckily we didn't have sisters, but I know women that have came up the same way. How do you figure out how to be a wife from there when we didn't get that example from our parents?
No.
You know, one of the greatest things I've ever heard was, we are the examples of our parents, but when we die, we are the example. What do you say? We are the examples of
when we're young, we look like when we're born, we look like our parents, but when we die, we look like our choices.
Would you say that for the people in the back? When he had said that, my legs got weak. Because he's absolutely right, man. It's just the choices that we make. We don't educate ourselves well when we're making choices.
No,
we basically we want what we want, and we go all in on those choices.
And you know what? It's because people just tell us, you need to do this.
Yeah,
like you need to go to college. Why?
Yes.
Why am I going?
Yes, you're right.
To just rack up some debt? If I'm not trying to be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, do I really need to go?
And if not, what do I do? How do I maneuver in that so I can get what I need out of it?
Exactly. And there are people who are saying, oh, y'all look good together. Y'all just get married. And ain't nobody learned nothing about what marriage entails. All they know is to go stand before a judge or pastor or something and say I do. That's all they know. There is way more emphasis on the wedding than there is the marriage.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. I cannot argue with that. I won't argue with that, but I can't argue with that.
For as much energy as you put into the wedding, there needs to be 3 to 4 times more energy put into learning what the marriage is going to be about.
Well, anytime, and this, if I keep saying this, I'm gonna have to venture to finish. But I got a book that I'm working on called The 3 Bottles. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, we show up in marriages, and we show up in our own bottle. Well, the trick is you and that other person have to fit in that 3rd bottle. It's not an oversized bottle. It's not a bottle that's going to give you any room. You have to decrease of yourself, and he has to, in order for you guys to fit in that bottle together. And that's what's so, man, it's amazing, because people think that they can bring the issues and all the extra stuff in that bottle to make the marriage work, and you don't get all of that. You don't get all of that, because he has to give of himself so that you can be 100, and or vice versa. And I think if people will begin to understand that concept, it would make marriage, because we taught from birth where it's me. We taught from birth to where it's all about you. Yeah. So naturally, when you talk about being with somebody else and giving up of yourself, that's foreign to us.
Right.
Why would I do that?
Right.
I'm the only child, and it's been all about me the whole time. Why would I deny myself when I hadn't did it my whole life?
Yeah. We're taught to be selfish.
Yes. Absolutely.
We're not taught to serve. And probably another tragedy is you have young people. When I say young people, I'm talking about early 20s, but really your 20s period, trying to do life by themselves. You need a village around you.
You sure do.
You need people who've done it, people who've experienced it around you, so that they could point things out before you hit rough spots. People you trust. And I don't think as a community, we have that sense of responsibility to each other's marriages, to where we see a young married couple, and if you've been in over 10 years, hey, why don't you come hang out with us?
Yeah, look,
let's go out to dinner. Let's do something, and just kind of talk to them and check on them.
But that's not what we are as a society. That's not what we don't. No. We don't reach back to help other people, because to be perfectly honest, we barely making it ourselves, and we don't want you to see that real side of her when she working her neck, or she not doing, or he doing this, or we don't want people to see that. So I can't open my door to you, because I don't want you to see that we flawed. I don't want you to see that we trying to figure this thing out.
But I think that's where we do people a disservice, because when they looking at us and we look so shiny and new with ours, and they start to think that something is completely wrong with them when they start going through.
Yeah.
And if they understood that those people who you look up to and you were like, man, I would love to have a marriage like that. If they would be honest,
if they go through,
then they would know, okay, so this is just part of
the process.
It's part of the process of us coming together. Yeah. It's going to be some friction. There's going to be some friction.
You're right. I think that's the biggest disservice we do to believers, and I think it's the biggest disservice we do to married people, or people that are. And when you engage to people, the biggest thing that should happen to you is somebody should be trying to talk you out of it.
Yeah,
somebody should be telling you. It's funny, because my brother had a business. He had a club, not really a club, but a restaurant a couple years ago, and he said, my job now is to talk people out of what I just went through, because I've learned that it's way more to it than what I ever thought. And it's the same with marriage. It's the same with marriage. It's way more to it. And you better decide at the beginning, because like Pastor Sam said, the best time to get divorced is before the marriage.
Before you get married. Because we don't understand commitment. And we don't understand the value of commitment. Commitment is where it is. And most of us, we've never been taught to commit. We never had that person who said, no, you told them you was going to do this, you're going to see it through. To where you have a sense of, if you don't like it, you can quit. No, because commitment is where it's made. And now here's the thing. Just because something is hard doesn't mean you don't do it. Whether it's just like, getting healthy is hard, but does it not mean that you don't do it? Becoming a self-sustained person, whether it's an entrepreneur or something, is hard, but it doesn't mean you don't. It goes with the territory, and you got to understand that it comes along with it.
But man, there's no greater reward to me than having a great marriage, Steve. It's worth all of the headache and the whooping, the switching legs. It's worth all of that, man. But when you get the finished product of it, I think it's like anything else.
Ophelia says, I was just going to ask, do you find that other couples ask for advice when they're going through things?
Well, I don't know if they ask for advice when they're going through things, because a lot of times in marriage, what we do is we put ourselves on islands,
right? And
we separate ourselves from people, and because we don't really, we've been taught that we don't want people in our business. I don't know if that's a black thing or a people thing, but we've been taught we don't want people in our business. And now you may be able to get one of the people to talk in a marriage, but most of the time, people don't talk about what's going on in the marriage unless it gets really bad. And most of the time it gets so bad then the word it's repairable at that point.
Yeah. But, and they may not happen they come to you together and say it. But if that husband is connected to guys, he gonna tell them. If that wife is connected to women, she gonna say something. Now, it's typically not gonna be something I did, it's gonna be what they did to me. Yes. But if it's enough for a person to, a person who has some wisdom about marriage to understand, okay, I see what's going on. So let me just, spend some time with them or do something to try to intervene to let them know, number one, you're not crazy. But number two, there's some things that you can do to make this thing better. Dr. Selena says, when Dee and I were dating, walking and holding hands, John said, "Oh, y'all are so cute. Don't y'all get married."
Did I say that? Here. Don't be saying that, Selena. Come on, say that. Don't be saying that. Are you serious? Don't be saying it. Did I say that?
I don't know. I don't remember you did.
Don't be saying that.
I don't remember.
See, look, I don't remember. Don't be. Why you want to?
I don't know. I don't remember.
See, I was at Selena baccalaureate. What they call it? The little thing that they do when you do the little kneel
debutante.
I was at her little debutante thing, and she gonna do that like that. I was there. I seen you. I was there. How you gonna do that to me?
Man,
yeah, but I just think it's a lot more difficult than. So it's not a diss to say that women not ready. She's not marriage material, because how can we pass the test that we hadn't studied for?
Wow.
Final thoughts.
Oh, you said that. Phil says that sounds like something you would say, John.
Wow. You know what? You need to quit drinking so much. You put them bottles down, doggone. I told you. You put that bottle down.
Charlene said, LOL. Yeah, you said it. I think the people found to figure you out a little bit, man. I think they saw to figure you out.
I do not want to confirm nor deny whether or not I said that, okay? But I just think it's something that somebody would bring it on the air, and I don't really deserve it.
Just put it out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Final thoughts. All right, my final thought for this evening is, listen, if you don't know, you don't know. But the first thing you got to do is admit to yourself what you don't know. Oftentimes in our lives, we encounter things that we've done wrong. If you can admit you did it wrong the first time or didn't know about it the first time, the knowledge will be given to you. The knowledge will be given to you. And I just trust and believe that if you're actually trying to do it right, it'll work out for you. I really do. You just have to want it to. And I always say, man, we want to present ourselves as the best version that we possibly can. And I want you guys to continue to do that. And that's my final thought.
We talking about being husband material, being wife material, and the whole nine. That material is not something you're born with. It's something that you have to be made into. The Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But it didn't say when you find a woman, which says that there's a process that a woman has to go through in order to become a wife. Which also means that there is a process that a man has to go through to become a husband. It's just we have to make sure that there are places where young men and young women can get the training they need to be husbands and be wives, because we need strong families. We need families where kids can grow up healthy with the right mindset and the whole nine. And that comes from a man and a woman making a decision to stay together and to do right by each other. Notice I had to throw that "and do right by each other" in there, because it's critical. If the dating pool is messed up, it's because along the way, families got messed up. Because families are creating, or broken families are creating, these broken people who are in the dating pool to begin with. So the buck has to stop somewhere. So it's about us individually making choices, making decisions to say, whatever I commit to, I'm going to stick with. If I commit to her, if I commit to him, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it work. And God will see it through. And that's my final thoughts.
The dating pool got piss in and it's ammonia.
He said ammonia. Your eyes are burning. It's stinging my eyes. I can't see. Charlene said, great show. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate
all
it.
All of our people that tune in week to week. Listen, we appreciate y'all. And listen, we got some great things coming.
We do.
We did our live. We did our, that's been a live recording. We did our on the site, on the scene recording at the barbershop last week. So really be looking for that coming up.
Had a really good time. Really good time with that.
Great conversation. Mm-hmm. The whole nine, great atmosphere. Shout out to Brooklyn's Cuts and Designs in Frisco.
Yes.
Thank you for letting us have that space and come in and do that. And we're looking forward to doing great things in the future. Teaming up again. Listen, if you want to catch us, you can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, all the podcast platforms. You can find us. You can go check us out there to the audio version. And then you can always look at the video version on Facebook, YouTube as well. Also, you can catch us on TV. If you have a Roku TV or Roku device, you can catch us at BS3 TV on Roku. We're part of the BS3 TV, BS3 Network podcast. So there's a lot of great podcasts on the channel. So whatever you're looking for, pretty sure you'll find it. Get some good entertainment, some good information at the same time. If you don't have a Roku TV or Roku device, you can check us out on your computer. Just go to bs3tvlive.com. That's bs3tvlive.com. But by all means, however you catch us, make sure you catch us.
And make sure y'all share with somebody that need it, because y'all know y'all crazy, and everybody got crazy friends. We got crazy friends and relatives, so make sure you share with them, because listen, we're just trying to help people, but we can't help people if y'all won't tell nobody about it. Don't be selfish. Don't be it's the season of giving. Get us to somebody.
Share the link. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody have a safe, healthy, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time off. Don't shop too much on Black Friday for all those Black Friday.
All those
people.
women, don't be shopping too much like y'all do.
Right. Let's not do that. We're going to catch y'all next time. Peace out. Thank you for joining us.
Be blessed.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.